After a very long, hard-fought series, the Golden State Warriors beat the Boston Celtics in 6 to take home the NBA Finals. And with them winning the NBA Finals, Steph Curry finally got the Finals MVP award that's been very long overdue. And because of everything that just happened, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green each have 4 rings, Steve Kerr has 9, and overall Steph Curry's legacy is starting to go up. Finally, he's gonna be getting the credit he deserves. He's finally a top 10 player. He's someone that is easily gonna go down as one of the best of all time. He is someone that changed the game of basketball for many years to come. So is it safe to say finally he's now that guy? Can we finally give Steph Curry his roses, his flowers, whatever, and just show that he is one of the greatest to do it? This one title that a lot of people knew they were probably going to end up winning regardless of the situation. Shouldn't this mean everything in the world to the whole Warriors franchise as a whole? Well, no. In fact, this title means absolutely nothing. Of course, as I say that, I know a lot of people are going to think I'm dumb and I have no idea what I'm talking about, and they're gonna go to the comment section saying I didn't watch the NBA Finals. But the truth is, I'm right to a point. I mean, yes, technically Steph finally has a Finals MVP, and finally the Warriors have 4 rings with this trio, and finally they're being considered a dynasty, but this doesn't really change much. In fact, my perspective of Steph Curry before the NBA Finals is still the same. Steph Curry is still a top 10 player of all time. Steph Curry is easily one of the most revolutionized players of our game. And the narratives that surrounded his name, saying stuff that he wasn't clutch and that he got carried by Kevin Durant when he was on the Warriors, were just completely false. And this isn't just people on NBA Twitter, which obviously, you know, NBA Twitter was very adamant about that even before the finals, but I'm talking even people in the NBA media. See, on this channel, I've talked about very underrated teams and players. For example, before the Phoenix Suns started to blow up, I started talking about them a lot because they weren't getting credit at first. And ironically, I also did the same thing to the Boston Celtics when they were struggling at the beginning of the season. But like me and a lot of people have started to understand, we get it. The media need to talk about big market teams and players, so we're starting to understand, but yet it's still annoying. I've even talked about guys like Giannis, who is considered the best player in the NBA at times, and his team and him really doesn't get the credit. But you know what? I understand it. The Bucks are a small market team. Giannis isn't a crazy toxic player. He's a very respectful player and someone that just plays the game to win, and he really doesn't get in drama. So that's why I understand why shows like First Take really don't talk about him. And when they do, they're trying to dismantle everything he's done and claim that he's really not all that. But I can justify every single one of those situations, even though I really shouldn't have to. But I don't think I've ever seen a player as popular as Steph Curry on one of the best teams as Steph Curry in a big market like Steph Curry and still be disrespected. In fact, for years, the media has tried to ridicule Steph Curry, which I will never understand. Like, if it's a small market player, I get it, but it's Steph Curry. For years, people have tried to dismantle every single thing he's ever done, and I don't understand it. And now the Warriors are finally starting to call out the media for it, and honestly, I'm loving it. Like this example right here, when people on First Take were asked, how many more titles will Steph win?
How many titles do you see Steph Curry winning over the next 4 years?
I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
And this is just one example that Steph Curry brought up, but there are so many on YouTube. If you legitimately just look up Steph Curry, you're gonna find so many things about Steph Curry couldn't do this, or can Steph Curry do that. When I said this title means nothing, I mean it. It really doesn't mean anything. Steph Curry was already a top 10 player. Steph Curry was already someone that's done everything for the game he can. He's proved his greatness multiple times. But yet, every single season, we try to justify why Steph Curry cannot be proved as a top 10 player. In fact, Steph Curry is constantly being hit with double standards that I've never seen any player in my life have to deal with someone like this. Even LeBron James, who's arguably the most hated player of all time. I saw somebody on Twitter that said one of the main arguments people use for saying LeBron over MJ is that LeBron played in a better, more talented era. So how come Steph Curry never gets that same benefit when compared to Magic Johnson? And he's absolutely right. I mean, we always see Magic over Steph, but I'm sorry, I don't think Magic's better than Steph. And when you really do break it down, the only advantage you could say Magic Johnson has is rebounding, but he's also like 6'9", and that's really about it. Sure, you could try to say defense, but let's not forget that Steph Curry has improved as a defender. In fact, in this series, he was the primary defender on a lot of guys, and he held his own versus some of the best scorers in this game. Regardless, this isn't a Magic Johnson for Steph Curry video, so let's move on. Something I also want to bring up is that the Celtics had the best defense in the league, and that's not even a question. I know when I was paying attention to standings, I would constantly see the Celtics at the top when it came to defense. And even if you watch them, you can clearly tell they knew what they're doing. In fact, in the first round, they stopped Kevin Durant and completely locked him down. Giannis in the second round was able to do some of his scoring, but he was not the same compared to other playoff runs. And the Miami Heat, while it went to 7 games, they still held their own versus the Heat, who I thought was actually going to make the NBA Finals, if not the Celtics. And then we get to the NBA Finals where they don't do any of that. Sure, they had a game where they locked down Steph Curry and he had easily his worst performance, but that didn't mean anything because the Warriors would go on to win that game and Andrew Wiggins would just play the best basketball of his life. So yeah, while they're a good defense, they just had no answer for the Warriors, and no one really talks about that. I think a lot of people forget how good this Boston Celtics defense really is. In fact, my NBA Finals prediction video, that was one of the main points I had. I said their defense was really good. I believe their interior guys with guys like Robert Williams was gonna dominate the Warriors. But it turns out when you have one of the best coaches of our generation, when you have one of the best constructed teams of all time, that stuff really doesn't matter. So does Steph Curry have anything else to prove, or can he go on for the rest of his career, do absolutely nothing, and he'd still be an all-time great? The problem with players nowadays is that people are so focused on the current situation and not possibly what the future is. Some players take a while to develop. I mean, Steph Curry was 27 when he made the 2015 NBA Finals. People seriously just don't have any patience to see a player's legacy grow. Till Steph Curry is either 40 or 50 or whenever the hell he retires, he's constantly going to get ridiculed for everything he doesn't do. And then when he does do something amazing, it's, oh, you're Steph Curry, you're already supposed to do that. Like, good job, we're gonna talk about for a couple days, milk the hell out of these views, but then we're just gonna go back to ridiculing you. Steph Curry has absolutely nothing to prove, and he didn't have anything to prove. Even if he lost this year and he never had an NBA Finals MVP in his trophy case, his legacy was already built. His legacy has already been cemented. At this point, he's just adding shit to it just for fun. There's nothing left he has to do. I don't care if he missed the next 500 threes in a row, he would still be at the top of my list. He would still be a top 10 player who really has the opportunity to possibly move into the top 5. In fact, if you were to tell me Steph Curry was in your top 3 players of all time, I wouldn't be mad at you. In fact, wherever you put him, I wouldn't be mad at you, because Steph Curry is constantly proving people wrong in a good way, so I'm not even shocked with anything he does anymore. At this point, I'm just watching his greatness. Even though I'm a Suns fan and I'm constantly gonna have to play this man if I want my team to make the NBA Finals or have any success in the same conference, but I have watched so many times and just said, God damn it, I'm witnessing one of the best to ever do it. When I say this, I know a lot of people are going to agree with me, but we don't really hate Steph Curry. We hate playing Steph Curry. He's annoying to play, but in a good way, where he's an all-time great and there's really no way to stop him. But like I've said for the millionth time, this championship, this Finals MVP means absolutely nothing, and it shouldn't change his legacy and how you perceive him. There's a video on the screen right now where I talked about Andrew Wiggins and his impact in the NBA Finals, but other than that, I'll see y'all boys later.